Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be guiding you through a quick morning energizing flow which you can do first thing in the morning to wake you up or whenever you're needing a pick-me-up. And this flow will be wrist friendly, so if you have any injuries to your wrist, any wrist tension or pain, we won't be aggravating that in any way because we'll be staying off of the wrists. So we're going to be beginning in a seated position. You can be kneeling or you can just come to a complete seated position on your hips. And we're just going to sit up nice and tall. You can bring your arms out beside your hips and think of the top of the head lifting up. Take a big breath in here. When you exhale, relax your shoulders and relax your elbows, but try to keep the spine nice and long. So we're going to keep the left hand out to the side, and on your next inhale you're going to sweep the right arm up. Exhale, finding a side bend, walk your bottom hand further away from you and bring that top arm up. If you want to stretch all the way down the whole right side of the body and starting to stretch into the right shoulder and arm. Feel free to turn your gaze up so you can stretch into the front of the left hand. Big breath in. Big breath out. Next inhale, use that right arm to guide you up. On your exhale, you're going to bring the right hand down, left arm up, and just tip over to the other side. Stretching out through the left shoulder, down the left side body, and taking a big breath in, big breath out. Now we're just going to repeat this 2 times on each side, using the breath to help you. Inhaling to come up, exhale, tip over to the other side, gazing up. Inhale to come up, exhale over to the other side. Inhale to come up, exhale, tip over to the side. Inhale to come up, exhale to the other side. Now coming all the way back up and just relaxing here for a moment, rolling the shoulders back and down. You can tip your head left to right, stretching into the sides of your neck. And when you walk your hands a little further away from your hips, doing these stretches, you'll notice the stretch not only down the sides of the neck, but also further down along the top of the shoulders and the arms. And you can continue the side-to-side movements or tuck your chin to the chest and drawing little semi-circle movements with the top of the head. Okay, now coming back to center. Let's now come into a kneeling position. You can roll over the knees or sit over to one side. With your kneeling position, you can either keep your knees hip width together, or you could put a cushion or blanket underneath the knees, or even some blocks underneath the hips to prop your hips up. And you've got a couple of options here as well. First one is to keep the tops of the feet flat, so you can stretch in the tops of your feet and your ankles. Second option is to tuck the toes under, so you've got a toe squat here. We're sitting up tall and trying to relax your hips back towards your heels, and whether you've got the toes tucked or untucked, you'll still get that stretch there into your ankles, into your feet. While we're here, we're just going to stretch the arms up overhead on the inhale, lifting up through the side body, drawing the lower belly in. Reach your fingers up to the ceiling and look up towards the ceiling or towards your hands on your inhale. On your exhale, we're finding cactus arms, so you're going to bring your elbows to 90 degrees. Open your elbows back, open your chest, and keep tipping your upper body back, lifting your gaze back. Then next inhale, let's reach the arms back up. You can look forward now here. Notice if you're flaring out the ribs. Let's take the back bend out and pull the ribs in. Nice and flat through the back body. Then exhale, you can find that little back bend, open the elbows, lift your chest, lift your gaze, tip your upper body back. We'll just do that 2 more times. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Reach the fingertips up, pull those ribs in. Exhale, elbows to 90 degrees. Looking up, tipping back. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Then coming back on the inhale, exhale, you can release. And you can roll the shoulders back and down. If you're in that toe squat, perhaps your toes are feeling a little uncomfortable. So you can stay on the fingertips or even just come to fists as you lean forward and shift the weight forward so you can take the weight out of your feet and wriggle out those toes. Okay, now let's tuck the toes under. You can push off the floor with your fists or with your fingertips and come into a squat here. Bringing your feet a little bit wider, about hip width or even mat width apart. And shifting that weight side to side. And settling in the squat, sitting those hips down. Let's bring the hips all the way down towards the heels. Elbows are to the inside of your knees and you're going to push out with your elbows, using the arms as a bit of leverage to open through the hips, inside thighs, groins and glutes. Let's add a shoulder stretch and a twist here. Make sure your lower belly is drawing in. Use your left elbow to push that knee back, and we're going to inhale the right arm up. Exhale, right shoulder rolls back and you're looking up towards your hand. Full breath, inhale. Full breath out. Full breath in. Exhale to bring that right hand back down. Right elbow pushing the knee back now and lifting the left arm up on the inhale. Exhale, left shoulder opening back. Look up towards your hand. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more breath. Then inhale here. Exhale to come back. Let's just do one more time each side, flowing with that breath. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale, bring that right arm down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale, back down. This time we're going to do the same, but we're going to add a half bind with the shoulder. So we're going to stretch this right arm up on the inhale. Exhale, now point your right thumb down and then wrap your arm around your back. You're just going to bring the back of the hand to the lower back or even towards the opposite hip. Now we're internally rotating this top shoulder, but you're still trying to keep your chest opening back. If your neck is straining to look up, just keep your gaze down. Hold here, one breath. Feeling that stretch through the inside of the shoulder and the arm. And then come back. Other side. Right elbow still pushes the knee back. Stretch your left arm up on the inhale. Exhale, half a bind. Bringing the left arm behind your back. Maybe fingers coming towards the opposite hip. Still maintaining the twist. And then coming all the way back. Now let's just find a forward fold here. So again, you can push off lightly through the fingertips or your palms or your fists, or you might not need to use your hands at all, just using the strength of your legs and your hips. Push down into your feet and heel toe your feet forward. And finding a forward fold position here. Shaking out the hips and then relaxing the upper body forward in your ragdoll pose. Taking the opposite elbows and just letting the upper body hang and sway here, side to side. 2 rounds of breath. Feeling the stretch down the backs of the legs, into the lower back, upper back. And then letting go of the opposite elbows. Stay light on the fingertips. Push into the feet Straighten your legs and find your halfway lift. Fingertips just coming up to the shins. Reach the chest forward, tailbone back. Exhale to fold forward, back into that forward fold Uttanasana. You might bend your knees a lot. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale to fold forward. 1 more inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale to fold forward. And now just adding a little bit more into the hamstrings, adding a bit of a twist. We're going to do that same shoulder stretch from before. Keep your left fingertips really light. Keep the knees really bent first. And then let's just stretch that right arm up on the inhale. Exhale, straighten your right leg. And you can either keep your right hand reaching up or now bring that hand behind your back. Just holding here 1 full breath. Feeling that deeper stretch into the right hamstrings, into your right shoulder, into the right side of the lower back. And then use the next exhale to unwind, come back to center. Keep pressing down into the right fingertips and then keeping the knees bent first. Use your inhale to bring your left arm up. Exhale, you can bring the left hand behind your back. Straighten that left leg. Full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. Exhale to come back to center. Perhaps just shaking out those fingers and just hanging out here in your forward fold. Feeling into the hamstrings. Okay, and then now coming back into that squat. This time we're going to keep the heels popping up. Let your knees come out wide and bring your feet a little closer together so the heels can press together. Let's just stay here, fingertips nice and light, finding a balance, pulling the lower belly in. If the floor does feel like it's really far away, you can always use a couple of blocks here underneath your hands. You might even be able to find your balance here, lifting the hands off and just bringing the hands to prayer in front of your chest. Feeling into any wobbles there. Notice how your ankles need to stabilize, need to adjust to help you find the balance point. Try to keep the knees pushing back so you're opening up into those inside thighs. And then you can come back to center by touching the hands, fingertips down, knees together, and perhaps using those blocks or using something to help you control that movement of the knees, lowering all the way back down. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you had fun with that flow, something slightly different, and still putting the hands down, but learning how to take some of the tension out of the wrists and adjusting the position of your hands, using your fingertips, using the strength of the palms instead, or using your fists instead, so you don't miss out on those other poses where your hands will be on the mat, but you learn how to adjust and adapt your hand position to not aggravate your wrist. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you for joining me and I'll see you next time.